We have come to one of the most popular islands here in Greece. It is known for its beautiful sunsets, picturesque towns planted on the cliffside, and its crowds, with thousands of people visiting this island every single day. Welcome to Santorini. We have made it here to Santorini. Stop number 10 on our big trip around the world, which is just crazy. We got in here about 5 p.m, which is pretty crazy because our ferry was meant to arrive at 2:15. So it did arrive about half an hour late. We got a couple of the public buses, which were pretty easy, I have to say, and very cheap. We paid €2 from the port, €2 each from the port to Thero. And then from there to Oia, it was €1.60 each. So very, very cheap option. You just have to be a bit patient at the port. Sometimes they'll wait for another ferry to arrive so they have a full bus. Very easy. We made it here, checked into our Airbnb, and it is absolutely beautiful. Let me show you around. We also walked back up to where the Oia bus stop is to get some dinner tonight. Of course, we had to get gyros again. We went for something a bit different this time. We've been getting chicken gyros. Today we decided to go with halloumi, and we both said it was our favorite one yet. It was absolutely incredible. Definitely have to get another one of those before we leave Greece.
And there's no better way to end our first day here in Santorini than by watching the sunset from our infinity pool. Not bad, cannot complain at all. And even just the walk from our door to the pool was so beautiful. It's so postcard-like. The whole like first day of Santorini has been just like a movie. It's so pretty.
How crazy is this?
Guys, we're back in our room now. Please excuse my hair. It's crazy windy outside, but the sun has just set, and even through our window we can still see the colors of the sunset in the sky. It's so nice.
Good morning, guys. Actually, not morning today, good afternoon. We finally did it. We stayed in for the morning. It's now afternoon. We had a nice morning in. We were very exhausted going into Milos, and then we had 2 very big days in Milos, so we thought, let's have a slow morning. It was a bit slower for me than it was for Rosh. She caught up on some editing for us. We're about 4 videos behind at the moment, but we will get there. But now we're out in very hot Santorini, going for a wander through Oia. It's just so picturesque. We cannot wait to see what it's got in store. You guys, it is so beautiful here. There are so many picturesque spots to take photos, and some of them even have lines, which is pretty crazy, but definitely the peak summer crowds are setting in here in Santorini, and it's only going to get worse the closer we get towards the sunset.
So it seems that if you would like to get a dinner meal with a view, it's crazy expensive, which is to be expected. The cheapest meal I found was €28 each, so we're on the search for something a bit cheaper, minus the view, unfortunately. Guys, we've come to Pito Gyros for some more affordable dinner. We've each got a gyros. We've gone with 1 halloumi and 1 chicken gyros so that we can kind of share between the 2.
So good, it's got like pesto in it as well.
And then afterwards we're going to stick around for sunset because that is the thing to do in Oia.
Okay guys, it's a little too crowded for us here to watch the sunset. We're going to try and explore tomorrow morning when hopefully it's a little less crowded. We'll see you there. This is much better.
Guys, sunrises are totally different to sunset. There's no one around. Guys, it is so quiet out in Oia this morning. The only people that are out this early are really the people that want to get those like nice Instagram sunrise photos. It's a lot more peaceful than it was last night.
I definitely recommend coming out at least once on your trip early in the morning. We came out, I think we got into town about 7 AM. Definitely would recommend it. It's such a different experience to at night when you get stuck in like conga lines going down the streets and you can't get out of the line, so it's definitely worth it. Guys, we've wandered up here to the Castle of Oia, which is the most popular spot to view the sunset. We're here at the opposite time of the day. The sun is still rising. Completely different landscape. It is super quiet up here. There are beautiful views of Santorini, in particular Oia. You can see all the beautiful houses lined up along the cliffside. It is just absolutely beautiful. Guys, it's almost 9:30 now and the crowds have certainly arrived. I think the cruise ships have docked because walking through the streets now there are just hordes and hordes of people. So come out here before 9:30, you should have a pretty cruisy experience. No pun intended.
We're walking along the main kind of pathway of Oia and there are so many beautiful like tiny little shops, each with their own amazing view out onto the ocean. And then as well as that, you've got the really expensive but really amazing looking restaurants. Seafood is meant to be incredible and they also have pretty indescribable views as well. It's really like a fairy tale, Santorini. It does not feel real at all. It's like walking into a postcard.
I wish the heat didn't feel real. You guys, we are back from the Oia main town area. Now, while Santorini is not particularly known for its beautiful beaches, it does have a couple beautiful beaches, but it's not known for it like some of the other Greek islands. But what it definitely has a lot of at different accommodations is swimming pools. And on a hot day like this in Santorini, there is nothing better than spending the peak heat of the day lounging in the swimming pool. We've had a really good few days here, kind of exploring but also winding back a little bit. We've had a very busy last 5 weeks, and particularly in Nice we were out most of the day. Well, one day we literally were out the entire day, so it's been nice to kind of just take this time while we do have something like a swimming pool that we can just lounge by and relax in, to take some relaxation time and really kind of let ourselves rest a little bit more before we head to like our next chapter in Europe, which is going to be very jam-packed with a lot of amazing things to see and do. So we are staying just outside of Oia. So Oia is definitely the most popular spot to visit and stay in Santorini. Oia is where it is known for the best sunset, so most people do stay in and around this area. We're about a 10-minute walk from the main town, so not too far. It's much quieter, a lot more privacy, which is nice. We originally did look to stay in Oia. It's very expensive, which is the main reason we didn't. But having walked through the town this morning, I think we're pretty happy with our decision not just for the savings, but there's a lot of people all the time, and also a lot of people take photos. Obviously a lot of the different little houses and things like that are very beautiful, and there's particular places which are known to be particularly beautiful and good photo spots, and I think you kind of lose a bit of the privacy by being in that area, and particularly the way they are set out kind of on that downward slope. It's kind of, if you're walking along the street and you look down, you can kind of see into everyone's yards. So you can see all the little pools and decks and things like that. So you do lose a bit of that privacy. Whereas where we are, it's much quieter, a little bit more privacy, and we have an amazing view of the sunset, which is just an added bonus. Where we are, I think, is called the Tholos Settlement, or Tholos Settlement. Again, like I said, about 10-minute walk away from the main town. It is an uphill walk, so it has been a bit of a struggle, but not too bad at all. And I think it's definitely worth it for the money we saved, but also for just the extra privacy and being able to escape the hustle of the city and come down here, and it's just very peaceful. So as you can see, this is kind of our view looking out from our pool. So obviously compared to the main town in Oia. A lot less houses, a lot less people. So it's much quieter, which is very nice. And right over there, that is where the sun sets every night. So right about here. So literally perfect views. We did head into town last night and we got to about 7:30 and we were like, oh, I think it'll be better from our pool. That's the thing, Oia is definitely known for its sunsets, and that's good and a bad thing. The bad thing is that the crowds in town at night are just absolutely insane. I think the main spot, as we mentioned earlier, to watch the sunset from is the Castle of Oia, which is like kind of the almost ruins of what used to be kind of a fort up there, and that's meant to be the best spot. It's not a particularly big spot, so I can only imagine how chaotic that is at night as everyone tries to squish in. One of the reasons Santorini does get super crowded in summer is that it's become a very popular spot for cruisers to dock for the day. So I heard someone saying this morning that generally about 9:30 is when they arrive, and so that tends to be when the crowd starts. So that's what we saw today. I think it was about 9:15 as we were making our way back out of the town. All these crowds of people were coming in, so definitely a hot tip if you are in Santorini and you are staying here, definitely head out before then, particularly if you want to enjoy the town while it is quiet and have a proper look around. Particularly photos, that's a very good time. There were a few people out this morning taking photos and it was definitely a good time for that, but at night it was like sardines last night, but this morning we could kind of wander at our own will, which is really nice. A big shout out to Rosh's friends who gave her an Airbnb voucher for her birthday this year, the big 30, and that is why we've been able to stay. What? Rosh says that's private information. her age, not the gift. But they got her an Airbnb voucher, which is why we were able to stay in this beautiful accommodation. So thank you guys. I've definitely benefited from that the most. Hey. Yeah. Nice to meet you.
Guys, we had such a good afternoon, just relaxing in our Airbnb, laying by the pool, swimming in the pool. I think it was really needed. We're a little bit burnt out. We're just go all the time because we want to see and do everything. And Santorini is no different, but it just caught up on us. We couldn't push through.
Unfortunately, we were saying the other day, we're not going to anywhere bad. So like it's like you want to schedule like obviously scheduling like a rest type day or two in Santorini, not ideal.
No.
But nowhere is ideal. Like we're not going anywhere where like this place sucks. Perfect time to have a rest, so.
But at least we could like rest by a pool. It was a location where you could kind of take advantage of the accommodation.
That's what made it perfect, and we paid to have the pool, so
yeah,
it felt right to take advantage of that.
Thanks, friends. Also, I'm going to turn the camera around because the view that I'm looking at right now is like actually unbelievable. Like not real. A simulation.
Guys, something else I wanted to mention, if you are doing what we're doing or you're just going on like a longer term budget holiday, a hot tip is to really look into how to get to and from the airport, because while pretty much everywhere we've been has had an option like of public transport, train, bus, whatever, and we have done that in most places, in some places that is time dependent. So like for example, Singapore has a really good train from the airport and also has buses from the airport, so two different public transport options. But because we arrived at midnight, both of those weren't running at that time, so we had to get a taxi, which obviously costs a bit more. Ooh, is that poo flying in my face? Sorry, pretty sure that's poo flying in her face.
Oh, I just stepped in it.
I forgot what I was saying. But yeah, and the same thing happened in Budapest. We could catch two buses, but because it was at 3 AM, you know, they weren't running as frequently. It was going to take over an hour. So again, we had to pay for a transfer. And similar thing here in Santorini, there are public buses. So from Oia, where we're staying, yeah, very cheap. So from Oia to catch a bus to Fira, which is €1.60 per person, so super cheap. And then from Fira to the airport, €2 per person. So very, very good option. But again, our problem was that the first bus from Oia to Fira in the morning is at 7:30, and then the next bus from that time from Fira to the airport was 8:30. So again, if you've got an early flight, doesn't really work out so well. So again, we've had to organise a transfer, costing a lot more money than obviously a $1.60 and €2 bus, but they're the things to look into when you book flight times and things like that.
And if you guys are wondering what we're doing walking down the side of a cliff with warning signs about falling rocks, we are walking all the way down to Ammoudi Bay. Ammoudi? One of them. It is a must visit site, we have been told by my sister and brother-in-law. So we're gonna go check it out now. If it was any more on the waterfront, you'd be soaking wet. Very, very likely out of our price range, so we're just browsing. Not a super accessible beach. A little bit scary. Are we okay? Mainland.
Oh my god guys, it's terrifying. It feels like you're not meant to be here, and yet there are so many people over here swimming. Almost there, thank god.
Alright guys, we have made it to the Ammoudi Bay swimming spot. As you can see, pretty popular spot for swimming and also cliff jumping, which is cool. Stace and I are really regretting not packing our bathers after all those steps. But I mean, I guess we had enough time in the sun today. But if you come to Santorini, it's probably worth checking out and pack your bathers. Do it for me. As you guys can see behind me, it is very rocky. It's a very rocky terrain after coming down all those stairs to get to the bay in itself. So if you do have any kind of mobility issues, first of all those stairs will probably be an issue. And then second of all, this rocky terrain is very, very tricky.
It's definitely not for the faint of heart. I think I read it's about 200 steps down. So the way to get here is near the Castle of Oia. Follow the path down, about 200 steps down, which was hard enough in itself. And then when you get down to where all the restaurants are, cut through the restaurants, follow the track kind of around the cliffside, and then it kind of ends. And that's where you kind of have to climb a little bit, and then you kind of get to another track. So definitely not for the faint of heart. Coming down was hard enough. We've got to go all the way back up.
Perks of it being so windy is that I don't need a hairdryer. Hair's already dry. Thank you, nature. Guys, every time I see Oia's cliff's edge, I just don't know what to say other than how. Like, how is this real? How do people live here? Like, what a place to live. Why would you go anywhere else?
Okay. We have to climb all the way up to there. Why? Where's the cable car?
Guys, what I overheard by the restaurants on the edge of the water, I think that you have to put down a deposit for a reservation, because you can imagine they'd be pretty hard to get, pretty popular. As I said, very likely out of our price range, unfortunately. But it's a good thing we have a pretty special gyros place.
Perfect way to finish our last night here in Greece with our favourite food, chicken gyros.
We love you, Pito gyros. We love you so much. Guys, there's over an hour to sunset and people are already lining up to get their place for the perfect view. It's busy. Check it out. City of Sunsets. Look how good this sunset looks.
The sunsets here really do live up to the hype.